In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 501st Clone Trooper, the most recent up-to-date one with the definitive Clone Trooper tooling for the vintage collection. I've already done a review for him on the channel, but I picked up these two recently. I do plan on getting maybe about a dozen at some point, but I figure I just pick up a few here and there, and I'll eventually get there. But at the same time, I figure I use this opportunity to just talk about what's going on the channel and then see where we're going for the future. But very nice Clone Trooper. Always happy to add more 501st. I'm personally a big fan of all the sculpts. I was even looking at some of the skinny mold action figures I have recently and thinking, you know, I still really like that mold, even with having this one in hand. Wonder if we're going to be getting more repacks of this. I do notice online that some of the prices are like in the $20 or $25 range for each of these action figures, which I think is a little expensive. I think $16.99 is about my threshold for most of these. Well, hopefully I can get some more down the road. But we'll just start with this guy. So at least at the time of this video, I'm almost totally caught up with my collection. For the most part, I've done a video for all my 3 3/4 inch collection, minus any new ones I get. Pretty much every video you see going forward is going to be an action figure totally new to my collection. The only thing I really need to get caught up on is there's one more Figuarts action figure I need to do. Which I'll probably be doing him very soon, the video for him, and then there's about 11 Hot Toys action figures I still need to film. I'm thinking about doing a different film style for those, though, and I know I've talked about it a little bit before, but some of the Hot Toys action figures, they're very hard to film. There's just so many components to them, so many intricate parts, and trying to get the right camera angles and things like that. It's really hard to film those. But I think I'm going to try a little bit of a different style for those, so stay tuned for all that. But I'm not sure how soon I'll be getting to those. I definitely want to take my time with filming those, and I don't want to just slap something together and throw it up on YouTube. So there's about 11 of those, and then there's a few on pre-order I have that should be arriving here within the next year or so. And then I think once I fulfill those pre-orders, I'm probably going to slow it down for Hot Toys for a while, unless they make something that's a must-have, like a Darth Sion, for instance, or a Mitra Sirik, or something along those lines. But for the most part, I think I'm going to have to draw the line with Hot Toys. It's just getting to be a lot to manage. They are very expensive. I don't necessarily mind paying the price for them, but you know, it does get to the point where you start adding up the cost for all the ones you have, and it's like, you know, I'm glad with all the ones I have, but at the same time, you know, you got to draw the line somewhere. And I think pretty soon here as well, at least at the time of this video, I've consistently had at least one video go up every day since March, which for me is a huge accomplishment. I'm really proud of that. But pretty soon here, I'll probably be going back to just doing a video here and there. Daily videos will probably start winding down here soon. A lot of that is because I no longer have to catch up as much on the action figures I have. For 3 3/4 inch, I probably have a grand total of like 2 that I need to catch up on filming. But there are a few videos that I plan to redo at some point, especially my earliest videos with custom action figures like Mitra Sirik, Jedi Revan, Natasy Dala, Gilad Pelion, a lot of those characters. As time has gone on, and you get a format down to how to do videos, I look back at some of my initial videos and think, I would like to re-record those at some point. So I do plan on doing that, and then there are a few videos here and there I wasn't exactly happy with how they turned out, so I might re-record those as well. One example is the Mithril back here. For some reason, the final video, there's some flashes here and there, almost like the files were corrupted. So I figure at some point I redo him. Another one that comes to mind is like Commander Poe from the Saga collection. Might redo him as well. And then Bastila Sean. I was never too happy with how that video turned out either. So there's probably about a dozen or so videos there for me to do at some point. But again, I'll take my time with those. Then for the most part, any videos I do going forward will be figures totally new to my collection. I have to admit, it is kind of a new feeling. It's been a long journey. I've decided to go all in on this back in July of 22. And here we are in October of 25. So it took me a little over 3 years to finally accomplish all that. It's been a long journey, but now that I don't really have that specific mission in mind, like I have to catch up on all these videos, it is a lot better feeling, I think. A lot less stressful. Now I feel like I'll be recording videos more sporadically, and I can take the time with the ones that I do. And I really feel that urgency in the back of my mind, like I have to sit down even if it's 3 in the morning and record a video. But the reason why I have that urgency is you never know what the future brings. I had the time today over the last 3 years. So I figure, who knows what the future brings. So you may not have the time to sit down and do videos as much. So I should take advantage of the time while I have it. And then that way, if there does come a time where I feel like I can't record as many videos as I would like, I don't have to feel so bad about it, because now I'm pretty much totally caught up. And there will go through, I will go through phases in life where that happens. I'm sure at some point there'll be a time where an event happens, or life circumstances change where it's like, hey, I gotta take a year off from this and prioritize other things. Happens to everyone. I should be going through a huge career shift very soon as well, so who knows how that will turn out. But it's all for good. And of course, sacrificing a little bit now frees up more time later on and allows me to keep this collecting journey going. And this is something that I do plan on. I know I've mentioned it before to people, but this is something I plan on doing for life. I really hope in the year like 2060 or 70 even, or maybe even later than that, maybe in 2080 or 90. YouTube's still a thing. YouTube still has some traction, and I can still be recording videos at that point. We'll see. But at least that's my goal. It's a lifetime journey. Maybe even in the year 2100. But man, all 3 of these look great together, and alongside Anakin here. I'm sure we'll be getting a new Revenges with Anakin here soon. I still need to get the Anakin Skywalker 3-pack from the TVC line. Just been kind of slow about it. To be honest, I'm not really keen on getting another Emperor's Wrath Vader. I've been perfectly happy with the one I have from the very end of TVC 1.0. But I would like to get the Clone Wars Anakin from that set, and then the Dark Side Anakin at some point. And I think that set's like, what, 50 or 60 bucks, which, you know I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I don't necessarily mind paying the price for action figures these days, but I definitely don't like spending $300 or $400 all at once on action figures. I like to space it out and do, like $50 or $100 here and there. But these days, $50 really doesn't get you that far in the TVC or Black Series. So it's just slow progress, but I will get around to it eventually. What else can I say? Of course, I'll be making more dioramas and things like that now that I don't feel the urge to make individual reviews as much, or I don't have the urge to do that. Those will be a lot more sporadic, but I do have some great diorama ideas that I think people will enjoy. A lot of those will involve going outside. Hopefully this winter, I would like to take out some of my like Tartakovsky, Ilum characters and maybe make some scenes for them, and get a few more action figures to add to that. Wouldn't mind taking out some of the vehicles I have as well in the snow, and then same with the snow troopers as well. We'll see how that turns out. Where I live, winter is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it could be a really snowy winter, and sometimes there might not be much snow at all, so that's no guarantee. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate everyone who's been along with this journey for me for the last 3 years. I appreciate all the comments and the support and the positive reception and things like that. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, I hope we can continue this journey together for many years to come as well. Even if TVC and Black Series should end at some point, which I think a lot of people kind of feel that tide. That's a whole different discussion I can get into at some point, but I feel like collectors are going to get to the point where the prices are just going to get to be too much. The death of Hasbro Star Wars isn't going to be lack of interest, I think. I think it's going to be just because of price. It's going to get to the point where people just plain can't afford or don't want to afford the action figures anymore. I mean, the way the inflation's going, pretty soon we're going to be paying like $25 for one TVC action figure, and you're not going to get too many collectors that are going to be keen on that, no matter how good the action figures are. And of course, we got like the HasLabs that seem to be ever climbing in price, and the various vehicles. $150 Vader's tie, for instance. Those prices are just going to continue to go up, and eventually collectors are going to get to a breaking point where it's just no longer feasible, and it'll be no longer feasible for Hasbro to continue it. But who knows when that pain threshold will be met. I think it'll be within the next couple years, maybe before the end of the decade, but we'll see. Only time will tell. It's hard to predict those things sometimes. But anyways, the point I was going to make is, should TVC or Black Series end, I still plan on continuing the channel and continuing to collect. I know a lot of the major channels that feature the Star Wars action figures I mentioned like before, like, oh, they probably lose interest and they be out. I think I'm one of those people. Even during the dark days of 3 3/4 inch, back during the sequel trilogy, I was still a very keen collector where I was going back and just getting a lot of the past stuff. And I think that's what I would continue to do should the lines end. And even if Star Wars action figures cease to exist for whatever reason, I'll still keep collecting and still be around. I definitely have a few, or have a goal in mind with my collection, and I like to try and complete as many of the action figures as possible. I enjoy it. It's been a lifelong project for me, and I hope to keep that momentum going. Like I said, I hope it's something that I'm doing for years to come. But yeah, I think I'll end the video right here. Just a little bit of an update on the channel. Let everyone know where things are going. Still going to be making videos, of course, even after fulfilling this major milestone, I think. going to be attempting a little bit of a different style for the videos for the Hot Toys action figures. I'll see how that works out. And of course, most of the action figures I'll be featuring going forward will be totally new to my collection, unless it's like a diorama. Of course, it'll be everything I've already had. But stay tuned for a bright future ahead, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going in 2026 as well. But anyways, that concludes this review, or I should say unboxing instead, and a little bit of a discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always going to be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support, and check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.